Hello, flea bag. You're not a flea bag, are you? This is my cat, Kim. She's quite old now. About 12, I think. We don't know because we took her in as a rescue. And she's done quite well since we live on a main road. Anyway, like all cats, she occasionally gets fleas. And keeping them under control can be a bit of a problem. The secret of keeping fleas under control is breaking the life cycle of larva, eggs and fleas, of course. And once you can do that, you've pretty much cracked it. There are various things you can put on a cat, sort of poisons. You can go to the vet, otherwise known as the tick terpenes of the animal kingdom, or you can tackle it yourself. And one thing that interests me was electronic cat combs. These are terribly expensive, and I'm not endorsing this by any means. It's a lot of shortcomings, but then they're quite a lot of money, and that definitely goes against the grain. So I bought this one for 50p at a car boot, and I can understand why people gave up on them. As I say, the build quality is quite poor. But it's got 2 AA batteries giving us 3 volts, and I made a guess that the little teeth of the comb, voltage is applied to these and a current, and this zaps the fleas when you comb the cat or dog. But where this falls down is alternate teeth across here. If I get in, every other tooth must be positive, negative, positive, negative. This has a sort of cleaning arrangement, but it's not very effective. And I can take the comb out. There's the comb, and the connection on one side goes to all alternate teeth, and the connection on the other side, and this is bridged with the little clip there, so you don't get a shock. This is quite safe, by the way. The cat doesn't feel a thing, and it's operated presumably by transistors or a chip or something, I don't know. There is a patent number on here, US patent. It's made in China, and it's obviously got some form of oscillator in it. If I switch it on, sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. I'll bring it to the camera, you might hear the oscillator. But it only takes a small amount of debris on this comb to stop the oscillator, and therefore it's not going to work. So if I shut up for a minute, you should be able to hear this, and my fingers, which aren't damp, are placed across the comb. It's enough to clag the oscillator. It's just the moisture in my hand. And I think this is the shortfall. It's just the output power is insufficient and people give up on them. So I decided to investigate this a little bit further. When they work, they certainly do work. But anyone not understanding the principles involved would have thrown it in the dustbin a long while ago. So let's investigate it a bit further. I could write to the company, ask them for technical details, specifications, but I usually find it's more trouble than it's worth it. You have to fight your way past the receptionists and goodness knows what. It's easier to do your own investigation. So what makes it work? Let's get some info on this. Here I'm trying to measure the voltage output, but with a digital meter it's auto ranging all over the shop. One of the reasons why I'm not a great lover of digital stuff. It's 20,000 ohms per volt, this meter, so it's usually quite accurate, but let's bring in some good old-fashioned analog. Making the assumption it's some form of AC or crude AC. Let's try that, switch it on. At least we got a measurement. It's clagging the oscillator, as you can see, but it's roughly about half scale. And this is AC 1000 volts, so we've got something in the region of 400 or 500 volts there. But analog meters are notoriously inaccurate when that comes to AC, so let's investigate even further. Well, here, running with the oscilloscope, we've got what is clearly a sawtooth waveform. It's very rich in harmonics. It's very unstable, but it took quite a bit of doing to get connections onto this. Anyway, it's given us a bit of insight. When I said earlier we can put various things on cats to cure the problem or help cure the problem, this is Spot On with Bob Martins. Not a bad product, but I mentioned the fact you could put poisons on it. That was a slip of the tongue. I meant insecticides, which is basically what this is. In fact, if you read what's in it, well, I can't pronounce the names. And this is put on at the nape of the neck of the cat. It's the only place that the cat can't lick. But I don't know, I'm not too happy about chemicals. If you read all the wash your hands and the food and reactions that can take place, I'm not so sure that's... Well, it'll be effective in certain cases. That's down to you. But you've still got to break this life cycle of fleas in furnishings, carpet, beddings for the cat and so forth. Some people are allergic to cats and cat's fur. Well, I'm afraid I've got to tell you something you might not like. It's not the fur that your people get allergic to. Cats seem to be forever cleaning themselves, but well, this might be a byproduct of their activity of removing debris and loose hairs and so forth. But in actual fact, what they are doing is covering their bodies in saliva. And it is the saliva that people can be allergic to. But if it wasn't for some sort of organisms, we'd all be dead, so you've got to keep it in context.